Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time. Park to Prem is back, the FM26. Welcome on in, viewers new and old, to the ultimate non-league adventure here in Football Manager, going on almost, well, a decade at this point, I think. We've managed Howlaw Town, Guernsey, Rugby, Three Bridges. Who are we going to end up managing this year? I don't know, that's the beauty of this first episode. Today is the first episode and today is the job hunt. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can set up the database that we are using for this video. And well, on screen now, you can see the setup that I am using for this new game. We have all the way to the 8th Division of England loaded, 86,000 players loaded, including all British players and the top players across all the continents of the world. And of course, for this adventure, we will be starting unemployed. The way in which we kick off these videos, though, for those of you who are new around here, is we simulate the date you're watching this video if you're watching it the first day it's up. So, I'm going to get to the 17th of November. It's going to be an international break, and hopefully there are some jobs that we can apply for. Okay, so it is now the 17th of November in-game, and the first thing we're going to do is retire this manager profile. The reason I like to do this is over on your manager screen, it shows the days you have holidayed. I don't like to holiday in-game, so by adding a new manager now, WorkTheSpace II won't have that blemish of going on breaks on his record. Of course, we are still going to be unemployed, but we do need to change some things up here. For our backgrounds, we need to have no coaching qualifications, no past playing experience, but on the non-playing role, I am doing something a bit different this year. There is now the ability to say that you are a pundit. I'm going to tentatively say that being a Football Manager YouTuber makes me a pundit, not worldwide. Amateur, definitely. For some reason, every time I click no qualifications and hit start, I think it's still giving me the coaching badge. Can I just, the game won't let me be unqualified for the job. I'll make a new manager profile and see if that fixes it. If you had on your bingo card, it would take a minute and a half for us to find a bug in FM26. Give yourself a prize. I don't know what the prize is. But buy yourself a chocolate bar. I'm not sure why I'm actually bothering to set up my manager to look like a human. I feel like no matter what you do, you just end up looking like E.T. in game anyway. Does this look like me? It'll do. Now, I do have a tradition in Football Manager, which is that I run red trousers with a green blazer. The red is not nearly vibrant enough this year. They've really muted it to be a realistic colour. The red and green, it just doesn't hit the same, does it? And we will try this again. I have no past playing experience. I don't need a tutorial. Leave me alone. Pundit, reputation, amateur, and coaching badges, I have none. Obscure reputation. That's much better. Entertainer, energetic, attacking. Oh God. Okay, these attributes really are awful, aren't they? Okay, that's my manager. We're all set up. Now if I hit start, why is it made me Averley manager when I said I was unemployed? I don't want to be Averley. So I've gone through all of that and now Averley don't have a manager if I would just retire. Let me just try again. Unemployed manager. Averley have already been taken. I've not selected Averley. I've selected unemployed. The game's actually broken. I genuinely don't think there's a way around this. Whenever I try and add a manager, it just makes me Averley manager. Like, if I deselect then go unemployed, then Averley are not selected. They're not selected. The only way for me to do this, I think, is to be Averley manager and then just resign. Which, I'm resigning on Football Manager. the jokes write themselves, don't they?
You were just making it... Like, I don't know if you'd be able to win that game even if you were trying to win. They're a good team.
Chat, I've just fucked up. I've just fucked up so badly. I've just mashed button clicks whilst making a request for the board to sign Mbappe and resigned. This does now mean that forever, I'm going to have the fact that I was Averley manager for a day on my record. I mean, that is a little bit annoying, but maybe it's just part of history. At the end of the year, when we look back on the save game, we'll think, wasn't FM26 broken at launch? And, well, a month after launch at this point. We should look at the jobs available and actually see if any are worth pursuing. I'm looking at jobs here. Don't think we're getting the Chelsea or Aberdeen jobs to begin with. Now, there's a few jobs here like Waltham Abbey, Galston and Crowsborough that are down in the 8th tier of English football. There is also Poole Town and Lewes FC in the Isthmian League. Ignore Averley. We're not going for the Averley job. Now, long-term viewers to the channel, Lewes FC should ring a bell. And by long-term viewers, you have had to be here over a decade at this point. But back on, I think it was FM15, we did a Lewes FC save game down in the lower leagues before Park to Prem was a thing called Tracksuit to the Top. I could go back. I mean, I'm looking at their first team. They've got one player on £400 a week who's in on loan from Reading in Jay Williams. And then the rest of their team is just made up of a load of part-time players who aren't on proper deals and could just get stolen away by other teams at any time. Apparently their key player is Dan Bassett, who, to be fair, like, he's actually quite good. He's a very, very good striker for this level. Obviously, like I've already mentioned, not contracted and also wanted by Cliftonville. Aren't Cliftonville quite good in Northern Ireland? They also have Khan Bennett as well. I mean, there's all these great players that play for Lewes. None of them are contracted. So they'll probably all just run away at the end of the season, if not sooner. Right now, Lewes are down in 19th. I think they might have just won their most recent game, bizarrely. But yeah, 19th in the league. They're in the Isthmian League Premier Division. For those of you not familiar with English football, of course, you have the Football League down to League 2. Then you have the National League and the National North and South, where it starts to split into a regional league. The divisions that we're looking at right now are the division below that, which isn't normally playable in Football Manager. Like I said earlier, we are using a custom database. Going to cover that at the end of today's episode. Now, I'm looking at things here. Lewis's wage bill is £2,500 a week, right? Poole Town's wage bill is 3 times higher at the exact same level. Bizarrely, Poole Town are also 19th in their division, but they've got a much bigger squad with a lot more players on actual money, which you might look at and go, well, that's great. They've got actual players contracted. That kind of terrifies me at this kind of level, because it probably means that they don't have much money and they're racking up a lot of debt right now. Poole have just built a new stadium like 2 years ago that holds 5,000 fans. It's like they were preparing for my arrival. I think what probably makes logical sense is to apply for the Poole and the Lewes jobs and just see which of those maybe comes up. Like I said, there are a couple of teams in the division below, but they are teams that have insecure finances, which is just scary. And also, if I was to get relegated with one of them, I just instantly get fired, because then we'd be getting relegated out of a playable division. I will say, if you are enjoying today's video, if you're hyped for Park to Prem's return, please go down in the comments, leave some comments of support, leave a like at the very least. Sounds stupid, really does help get the video back into the algorithm, make it appear on people's homepages. I know that people come back every year for Park to Prem. Maybe they don't watch the other series, so it does just ensure that it reaches those people. And if you're one of those people, it worked with other people doing it to get it to you. Spread on the series to someone else. Okay, my job application for Lewes has been received. They have 220 season ticket holders, which isn't that bad for this level. The Dripping Pan is their stadium. That might be the greatest stadium name in the world. And as for Poole Town, they have their stadium. They've only got 85 season ticket holders, the Dolphins. Also, I don't really like their badge. Their badge looks like 2 dolphins having fun on a ball. And when I mean having fun, use your imagination. There is part of me that, having managed Lewes over 10 years ago, would love to manage them again. You know what? I'm going to declare interest in the job. I don't want to alarm anyone. I can't now hit continue and go forward in game. The game literally won't let me go forward. So after everything I've just done, I've got a holiday forward a day. It's too late now. I've committed to this save. The Space wants the Lewes job. That is the first time the game's worked correctly. Also, the fact it shows me as Avali manager. I'm upset. You know, let's just keep playing. The game still won't let me hit. I still can't go forward. I've literally broken. The game won't let me go forward. The game won't let me go forward. What do I do? What if I just add another unemployed manager? I'll just add it adds the unemployed manager to Avali. Now, can this manager at Avali now go forward? After all of that, Okay, some good news. Lewes FC have offered me a job interview. Obviously, we're going to attend this. Ben Allen, the general manager, I hope he's a wise man and gives me a job. Can I ease your concerns about lack of experience? Tell you what, this is like being on dating apps. I'm up for a few jobs. I'm just exploring my options. Am I willing to assure you that I can do a better job of meeting expectations than my predecessor? Yes. Yes, I'll make the promise. I'm replacing someone who didn't have a good relationship with the fans. That sounds concerning. I've got a good relationship with the supporters wherever I've been. The Avali supporters thought I was brilliant. I'm being asked if I want to stay at the team for the long time. Now, this always comes up with Park to Prem. Jack, is this a one-club save or a save where you move around? And historically, we've done either. This year, I don't really have a plan one way or the other, but I'd like to stay here for at least a few years, so we're going to make the promise we'll stay here for a long time. They're expecting me to finish mid-table. I could big up the expectations more. I'll be honest, mid-table when they're in the relegation zone right now is ballsy. I could make more requests. You know what? I'm good. I just want a job, please, Ben. The non-league paper want to ask me about me resigning from Averley. You know what, Lee? I wish this was a mistake. I don't want to be here. Storm out. Sorry, there's been a hit piece written about me. Terrible the Space. WorkTheSpace has been responding in the media in the wake of recent questions. Right, I'm never talking to the non-league paper ever again. They're on the blacklist of media or whatever teams I manage. I've still not heard from Poole Town, by the way, but Lewes have offered me a job, and I feel like it just makes sense to go to the dripping pad. £190 a week, that's enough pizzas to get by, isn't it? I did make the promise not to make any other job applications, and also that we will get a good competition performance. I hope they're not expecting too much from me. It's a 7-month deal. They're not exactly backing me, are they? I could ask for longer. Okay, you know what? I can't ask for longer. Never mind. Finalised deal. Ben, give me the job. By the way, minor issue. The continue button is still not working for me in this save game. Not ideal. Well, annoyingly, that save game just wasn't working. I couldn't hit continue on it. So what we are going to do is we're going to add a manager with the exact same details as the manager of Lewes on the same date we just took over. Everything is the exact same. The only difference is that the world has no recollection I ever managed Averley, which is maybe for the best. You might remember when we applied for the job, there was murmurs of a takeover. Turns out it was just an election, and Ben, who interviewed us, he is the new general manager of the team. The highest the Lewes FC have ever been in the footballing pyramid in the UK is the 5th division. They entered the National League and finished rock bottom over 15 years ago at this point. In terms of attendances, this is just for this season. They're actually getting fairly decent returns. They set a record attendance against Ashford Town of 1,300 fans, but still getting 700 fans, even for home games against, well, in this case, #United. Now, the board expectation for this year is still a mid-table finish. They wanted us to be competitive in cup competitions. Spoilers, we are out of every single cup competition. The team who knocked them out of the cup are called South Park. I'm actually disappointed that the badge is just a tree in a circle. I was expecting something very different from a team called South Park. 5-year plan for the team is just work towards the playoffs and hopefully eventual promotion. To be honest, it's not even that. They just want us to stay in this division forever. I want to get them to the Premier League. That's my pledge to them right now. As for this year, I'm not going to up it. I don't even get more money if I up the expectation to top off. It's not worth the risk. So as I already mentioned, we do have a first-team squad here that's a decent size and has a fair amount of quality. The issue is that a lot of these players don't actually have kind of permanent proper contracts. In fact, our best player, Dan Bowry, has already agreed to leave the club to join All Saints in January. That's annoying because he's a very good centre-back. And it's extra annoying because when I look at the remaining centre-back talent at the club, maybe calling it talent would be a stretch. We do have a load of really, really good strikers. Khan Bennett stands out really because he's 21, a younger player, has some decent physicals, nice determination. I am wondering, can I discuss a new contract with him? Okay, I can make him a star player. He's currently on like a pay-as-you-go deal. If I want to negotiate something with him, He wants £600 a week. The board won't let me spend more than £250 on a player. I think it's safe to say as we head into our first match tomorrow, maybe don't get too attached to the first team. It's probably going to change a lot in the first few seasons. One of the advantages with being down at this level, there is less restriction rules. And, well, I didn't think there was a registration window, but it does tell me the transfer window is closed. Maybe there is a transfer window. Okay, any full-time players have to be on at least £400. Maybe that's why we don't have players on proper deals. Although we are a part-time club, so I guess they wouldn't be on full-time deals anyway. And free agents can be signed in any transfer window if they were released before the end of the last full transfer window. Okay, you know what? Maybe free transfers are an option. I don't know. My head hurts. So far, the team's actually only lost 10 games of 20. They've actually managed to get a handful of wins, which is not too bad. And a couple of wins could easily see us climb up the table. If I want to get really ambitious, we're only 16 points off second. Granted, there's not that many games left of the season. In fact, we're just about the halfway point already. Looking at the season preview as well here, the team was originally predicted to finish 14th, so the fact they are as down as far as they are may be a bit of a concern. None of our players in the media dream 11. One thing I definitely think is worth covering before we leave things today is the finances. The club has £223,000 in the bank balance. Usually at this level, teams are making massive losses. Actually looks like from a financial point of view, the team is in an okay spot. Probably because of course, we've not got that many players on actual week-to-week wages, but also because just as I flick through some of the home games here, we are getting like 30 decent attendances just shy of 1,000 people, which for this level is really, really solid. Normally this first episode of Park to Prem takes me in the region of 45 minutes to record, get the gameplay, get our first job and be all set up. It's taken nearly 3 hours today with all the issues you've seen me navigating. I wish I was joking. FM26, word of advice, just don't start unemployed. It's just not worth the hassle. That said, I do hope my pain and suffering was moderately entertaining. When we are back next time, we are coming back for a game against Dartford and a game against Chatham Town. I'm excited to be back at Lewes FC. I hope you guys like the team choice too. Let me know if you're doing a save game like this down below, who you're managing, and I'm now going to throw to the little guide section to end things of how to download and install the Tier 8 database. If you're playing on Steam, it's your lucky day. To install the database, simply find Football Manager in your Steam library, go to the Workshop tab. If at the time you're watching the video, this database here isn't on the homepage, all you need to search is Dan FM database. Once you find the Steam Workshop item, click on it, make sure to click the subscribe button and it will automatically download to your game. Option number 2 is to download from FM Scout. To do this, all you need to do is click on direct download on the link that will be linked down below. Once you've downloaded the file, you are going to need to go to your Documents, Sports Interactive and Football Manager 26 editor data folder. In this folder here, you're going to paste in the .fmf file that you've downloaded. And if you are on Mac, this location is slightly different, so I'll link the exact location for Mac users down below. And then once you've downloaded and put the database file in the editor data folder, all you need to do is go to Advanced Setup when you're creating a Football Manager save game. And then in the top right where it says database, if you click here, you'll see that we have an editor data file. All you need to do is make sure that the tick is selected. And once you've done that, from the drop down when you have England loaded, you'll have all these extra divisions at the bottom. Anyway, really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, go down below, show it some love, subscribe for episode number 1 with Lewes FC coming tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next time for more. I'm out.